Child. So Letitia Scott, I mean, even if it ain't Nell, it ain't gonna be you. In the words of the great prophet Roland Ray, you still not that girl. Shout out to Miss Nell. Shout out to Miss Nell. Exactly. Good morning, friend. Exactly. Happy, what's today? Tuesday. Okay, happy Taco Tuesday. Yeah, I went to bed early, woke up early, listened to Carlos King interview with Miss Nell. I said, let me go talk to my friends. Let me go talk to my friends before work. So good morning. Exactly. Get your coffee, get you a little wake and bake, do what you gonna do. We finna talk real quick before I go to work. I want to talk about Miss Nell being on Reality with the King last night. And I also want to talk about this little bit of tea. Did y'all see? I feel like K.Michelle low-key confirmed that she'll be on season 17 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. In case you're not following me on Instagram, the ladies were out last night. Kelli, Porsha, and none other than Miss K.Michelle. Girl, she took a break from raising that man, so I don't know. And then also in some Love and Marriage Huntsville tea, tell me why Twan. Y'all remember I keep telling y'all about Twan. I think Destiny was messing with Twan, and then Lance. And then Lance was a storyline. So Twan came on and he had something to say. And I wondered, like, Twan, we ain't even met you yet. Is you beefing? Because he done went off on the people. And he said, you punk puss assholes better stop pillow talking on and off the show. I said, what now? Girl, it's a lot to talk about. It's a lot to talk about real quick. So good morning. Like I said, get you a little something. Get your little coffee, girl. Pack the kids up. Get them on out the door. Pack your man lunch. Make sure you pack that man lunch. Exactly. Pack that man lunch, friend, before he leave out the house. Anyway, okay, so first we're going to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta real quick. Then we'll get into all of the Love and Marriage Huntsville shit and this interview Miss Nell did. This was probably one of the best episodes of Reality with the King that I've seen in a minute. And y'all know a lot of y'all think I hate Claudia, and I keep telling y'all I used to love Claudia on TGIF. But this version of Claudia was way better than the version of Claudia that was going off on Porsha and Phaedra during the Real Housewives of Atlanta reviews. So we're going to talk. Okay, so speaking of Real Housewives of Atlanta, like I said, so where did I get this from? Probably the Bravo Shade Room. Like I said, it's on my Instagram. I'll probably post it to my my page so y'all can see it. So I don't know if this was last night, but recently the ladies were all at an event, and we get a picture with Porsha next to Player P. It's K.Michelle. And then it's this other lady. I forgot her name. She was really, really pretty, though. Brown skin with short hair. I'll do a little research today. So on lunch, I'll tell y'all who she is and what the tea is for her. And Kelli. You know the garden gnome? Sidebar. Tell me why Tasha K did an interview with Kelli ex-husband, Chuvalo. Mr. Ice Cream Man, Big Perm, Big Worm. Yes. So I'm going to check out the interview that Tasha K did with Big Perm, Big Worm, and I'm going to give y'all all what he said in Kelli tea. I don't know if that's why Kelli was in the picture with a scarf on and glasses. I don't know if she's in witness protection already or trying to hide from the shade that her ex-husband, probably done told Tasha K over there on her Tasha K Live. But I'll be tuned in. And don't worry, friend, I'm gonna tell you what happened on lunch, okay? Anyway, girl. So now you know Kenya Moore already told us down here on the YouTube streets, Team Twirl, come to the front. Kenya Moore hinted around about Love and Hip Hop star joining the cast. And then we found out that K.Michelle recently got married to her dentist, her husband. I said her husband. I believe she's married to the guy that she was on marriage boot camp with. He's a dentist, so he's a doctor. And he's been knowing her for over 20 years. They know each other from Memphis because they both from Memphis. Shout out to M-Town, where we get down. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, so is this kind of solidifying it? Because we know they filming soon. The girls together. K.Michelle, was you out filming with Kelli and Porsha? So am I the only person excited? I person excited because I went to the comments and y'all was all in the comments like, this was horrible. K.Michelle ain't ready. K.Michelle ain't this. She gonna declass the show. Outside of K.Michelle antics on Love and Hip Hop, what makes y'all think that K.Michelle is trash? Literally, if we talking about career-wise, K.Michelle got a better career than most of those housewives. I mean, Kelly got a business. Britt, Edie had what? Spankwear? I don't know. Who else got some? Cynthia's a model. Kim Zolciak ain't did shit but throw cat around the world and steal our daughter money. That's what I'm saying. Angela Oakley got what? A real estate business? I'm just saying. To me, K.Michelle is the prototype for Real Housewives of Atlanta. Her husband is a dentist. She's married to a doctor. She has her own music career, a long-standing music career outside of reality TV. She throws good shade, and I just don't feel like, what makes y'all think that K.Michelle gonna be out here throwing bows and doing all of those things if these girls not gonna be doing it? I believe K.Michelle got enough sense to throw shade, because half the time on Love and Hip Hop, the girls were so mad. Most of K.Michelle fights, if you really think about it, Rashida, Carly Red, Mimi, most of K.Michelle fights on Love and Hip Hop has been because K.Michelle threw some hard ass shade on them. And they couldn't take. And then Rashida tried to throw a candle because Kirk and his 3 earrings was out here doing something. Mimi got mad and tried to fight K.Michelle because she said Nico was gay. Turned out he might be a booty bandit. Who else? Carly Red got mad at K.Michelle because you shaking the table. Exactly. So I'm not sure why everybody's so mad. I've been saying we need the funny shade. What we're missing with Nene is the funny shade. I think K.Michelle and Porsha will be a kiki and a cackle. Now, somebody did mention if Porsha and K.Michelle get into it, I don't know how that's going to turn out now. Exactly. I love me some Player P, but I got to ride with my cousins from Memphis. You know, St. Louis and Memphis, we click-clack like that. And K.Michelle is funny. Ooh, chat. K.Michelle got a lethal mouth too. I don't know what y'all talking about her in TV land exactly, but I would love to see K.Michelle on this show. Remember when she was on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, and when she was going off on Lyrica, remember she was singing with the IV? Going off on Lyrica, and then A1 came to her house and he was getting crunk with his fingernails polished, and she was ushering him out. She had on that Gucci band and she was like, oh, they some real bitches out here. I'm excited. I don't care what y'all talking about. But let me know in the comments, friend, are you here for K.Michelle joining the Real Housewives of Atlanta? As far as I'm concerned, she ain't gonna get as down and dirt. K.Michelle can't get any more down and dirty or ratchet than Kenya has. Sorry, Team Twirl. Kenya throws lethal shade. She goes for the jugular. She provokes people. She used the poster board to post up a girl's sexual activities. K.Michelle can't get no worse than that. The only difference is K.Michelle married to a dentist and Kenya was married to Mark and his nose ring. Anyway, so let's talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville real quick. Before we talk about Miss Nell, let's talk about Twan. Let's talk about Twan real quick. So for those of y'all who don't know who Twan is, I keep saying that I feel like, and it's all alleged, and in my opinion, it's not factual. I don't know this. I think that Destiny was messing with Twan, Nell Fletcher, and Nell Fletcher's godson, the one with the I hate to call him dreads, the locks in his hair, the tall one. So exactly. So apparently Twan, his name Twan Solo on Instagram. So apparently Twan, and this is according, I got this from Shop Reality TV. apparently Twine then got on somebody live. I don't think it was Instagram because I have his notifications. I'm not sure if it's Facebook or where he was on live, but he was on live, and that's the same guy. He look a little older in the face. He looks a little older in the face, like he's been smoking a pack of cool cigarettes a day. But that's neither here nor there. So he got on there, baby, and he said people need to stop. He's not a part of the show. I'm like, baby, how you mad at everybody else? You are a part of the show. If you filmed, you filmed some scenes last season, and you filmed some shit this season. So how you mad at everybody else? He said, I'm not a part of the show. I don't get paid from the show. Don't ask me about that motherfucking show. And if you ask me about it again, I said, he was hella aggressive, like, baby. He was like, and people around the town don't ask me if I'm a star of the show. First of all, baby, ain't nobody called you no star. Let's be clear. Let's relax. Take a melatonin and relax, or a magnesium gummy. Sit back. Exactly. I'm not sure. I ain't gonna put, the roid rage on you, baby, but relax. You're not a star. And neither is Tisha. I'm so stupid. I'm stupid, child. Anyway, so he was saying all that. Then he goes on to say, so I'm like, are you mad because you're not getting paid by the show? Because that's kind of what it sounds like. I'm not a part of the show, da 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 da. Well, you was filming on the show, so obviously you were open to it. Or are you mad now because you're not getting paid from the show and you felt like you should have got paid from your scenes? I don't know, child. But he also said, I'm single. I fuck who I said, hold on. He said, and I'm not paraphrasing, friend. He said, I'm single. I fuck who I want, when I want, wherever I want. I said, ugh. It was kind of crass. I was like, so why would he come out and say that? Or are you trying to just clarify? Because I keep saying that, or I don't know if I don't know who he's talking about, child. But I'm like, why are you clarifying? Are people speculating that you in a relationship with Destiny? Destiny, are you using yet another man for a storyline? Because Will said he not in a relationship with you. Lance said y'all ain't even do the oochie coochie. And now your other third prospect is saying that he is single. He can do whatever he wants to. That's it. No claim Payton. They ain't nobody trying to claim you. Moses didn't even claim you after 20 years. Girl, I don't know. Anyway, so that's what he said. I don't know why he came out there and said that. I'm not sure if that's his way of making sure he detached from any rumors that he go with Destiny. So listen, Twine, I don't want you trying to bench press my forehead. Exactly. If you don't fuck with Destiny, you don't fuck with Destiny. Or maybe they not in a relationship. They just doing the oochie coochie, swinging from showers and shit. I don't know, child. Anyway, then he said, he was like, and he don't fuck with that pillow talking shit on and off the show. Don't fucking play with me, bitch. I said, who he's talking about? Who is out here pillow talking on Twine name? So apparently one of the men's or the women's, and I'm usually when men say pillow talking, they talking about another dude pillow talking. You know what I'm saying? They usually not talking about a woman pillow talking. When I hear a man say pillow talking, tell me if I'm wrong, friend. But when you hear a man say pillow talking, don't you just assume he's talking about another dude was pillow talking shit to a bitch, and that's how stuff. Ooh, a woman. I'm trying to get my language together. Anyway, so when he said pillow talking on and off the show, that leads me to believe that one of the men on the show been pillow talking or talking shit. So this is just all alleged, in my opinion, from the knowledge and experiences I've had in ghetto shit. It sounds like Twine maybe was talking to Destiny or messing with Destiny, but his other little main thing or the other little girl that he was talking to or whatever, some man on the show probably was pillow talking about him and the Destiny shit. It got back to his little fine shit that he really fuck with. And he like, yo, pillow talking ass and fucked up my little fine shit, my real shit, because of that shit on the show with Destiny. Ain't that what it sound like, friend? Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know, but we're going to see what happens with Twine, Destiny, and her million of men. Many men don't claim destiny. Oh, anyway. Let's talk, fuck Destiny. Let's talk about Miss Nell, since we already talking about the Fletchers, because Twine is Nell Fletcher's godson. Girl, y'all so messy. I seen all of y'all in the comments from my Love and Marriage Huntsville review talking about the Fletchers having a show and all of that other stuff. Baby, with the Fletchers, now we got your bring on your godson Twine, because he already cursing us out. He made for this shit. Bring Twine on, his little fine shit. Tell us who pillow talking. Do y'all think Martell pillow talking? Because Martell was the one on that clip at that Black Nick party who said Destiny got Lance, Will, and Twine here. Like she had 3 ninjas. So Martell, was you the one out here pillow talking? Because you know his bald-headed ass is messy Martell. Marlene's son. Girl, who Marlene? Yes, bald-headed ass, messy Martell, the one who go with dandruff. Exactly. Girl, anyway. So I wonder who on the show, which one of the dudes on the show pillow talking. Is it Lance? That's your god brother, though. Is it problems within the family? I don't think it's Will. I don't think it's Will or Ken, because Twine be liking Will and Ken them 2 Wicked podcast posts and stuff. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I was like, ooh, y'all. I'm here with y'all. Just give us the Fletchers. Give us Twine and his drama. You can bring him on. You can keep Will. Exactly. I want to see some. If you gonna keep Love and Marriage Huntsville on, I want to see some other people in Huntsville. Fuck the Scotts. Get rid of the Scotts. Give us the Fletchers. And give us some other people in Huntsville doing a lot of stuff. I even like Nadia. Exactly. Hey, Nadia, if you watching. Exactly. Give us some other shit. Exactly. Anyway, so let's talk about this Reality with the King episode with Miss Nell. Like I said, this was probably one of the best episodes that I've seen. It was good. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning. I was like, I might as well listen to this shit. It was good too. It was really, really good. Okay, so Miss Nell starts out, she's talking about Lance. She tells us that Lance is a very hard worker. He'll work sun up from sundown. I like it. She said Lance has always had his own home for like 8 or 10 years. She said he's been married twice and he has 3 kids. Now, I heard the rumor that the baby is actually Lance's daughter's, and Lance is just claiming the baby or something like that. I ain't gonna lie, friend. I'm not gonna research it. I'm not going any deeper because I believe his daughter is like 15 or 16 years old. So whatever they want to do with that, and however, we gonna let that happen because that's a teenage girl. Exactly. So I'm gonna leave that where it's at. So we gonna say he got 3 kids. I'm not looking for the paternity. So she said that he has temporary full custody of the newborn, because not the newborn, but of the small baby, and they're currently going through a whole bunch of court stuff. So it sounds like the mama is AWOL and he's working on getting custody. Miss Nell did say she was like she didn't say she regrets. She said it was hard. She felt like she bit off more than she can chew with helping him take care of the baby and stuff. But she said she would much rather her grandchild be with them and she just bite the bullet and do what she got to do to take her grandchild. I was like, okay, that's what strong Black women do. That's what we do. Anyway, she mentioned they talked about her going over there to stay a few days a week, and she was saying that because he used to be there, she thought she was doing Fletcher a favor by going over to his house rather than have Lance Fletcher and the baby at their house. And then she started talking about because Chris Fletcher, she was like, because Chris Fletcher like her to throw her leg over his leg or whatever. She was like, she might be in the house naked, laid up with her man, no clothes on, get hot and stuff, and forget he in the house or something. She was like, or he get up first thing in the morning, he come bring the baby, and she got to, get up and put on some clothes. It was so cute. It was so cute. Her little banter back and forth with Dustin. And shout out to Dustin. Dustin did a phenomenal job with this interview. The whole dynamic of these three was really good in this interview. Carlos took the back burner. Dustin kind of led it, and Dustin, I feel like sometimes Miss Nell, you can I don't know if it's nervousness, but she kind of like stutters over her words a little bit or whatever. And Dustin was leading the conversation. He was funny. He was personable. Claudia kicked in when she needed to. It was really, really cute. Miss Nell energy is very bubbly, funny, and cute. It was real cute. So she was saying, basically like, that's why I was going over to his house so I could be laid up and he won't be barging in and so on, so on, so on, so on. And so that was really, really cute. And like I said, she felt like she bit off more than she can chew. She was like, but I said I was going to do it, so I'm going to do it, and I'm going to stick through it and do it. I was like, I know that's right, bitch. Right, I caught myself doing this like, oh, Miss Nell, exactly. That's how I am. Even if it do get hard, if I said I was going to do it, I'm going to do it because I'm a woman of my word, and that's just how I get down. Anyway, so then they started talking. So when she was talking about how Lance is such a hard worker, so on, so on, so on, so on, Dustin chimes in and was like, yeah, that's why Destiny wanted him, so on, so on, so on, so on. And Miss Nell told him, yeah, Lance said Destiny trying to build her a man. Destiny, girl, I hope you ain't trying to build you a man, because you build them up and they leave your ass out high and dry. You see, Twine don't even want to claim you. Girl, I don't know. Do y'all think Destiny is trying to build a man? What man is she trying to build, though? I don't know, girl. Anyway, so then she started talking about how that's why she didn't want Destiny and Lance to date, because they go back and forth. They tell her all of this shit, and then they act like she the problem when she end up cursing their ass out. So they talked about Miss Nell's temperament and her cursing motherfuckers out and stuff. And she was like, that's why I told them, I don't need no therapy. I don't need no therapy. These y'all problems. Y'all come to me with this shit. And then when the shit blow up, I tell y'all motherfuckers. Miss Nell sound just like my aunties, my mama and them all mixed together. She sounds like the typical black mother, even your friend mama that you go for some advice. And she'd be like, didn't I tell your ass so? I like Miss Nell. It was really, really cute. Then she gets into the Tisha stuff, her getting into it with Tisha. And basically she said what we've been echoing. Bitch, don't ask me about my kids, my grandbabies, and my husband. And then when it comes to you asking me questions and shit, and you don't want to say nothing about what you got to say. She said, no, it ain't going to work like that. Bitch, stop asking me. I'm paraphrasing. This is what Miss Nell wanted to say. Bitch, stop asking me about my husband and my grandkids, bitch, if I can't ask you about your big hip ass husband and Kimmy, because you don't want to say shit about your husband and you hugging your emotional support animal while your husband getting a DUI at 11 a.m. because we don't know where the fuck he was. And seen. That's what Miss Nell wanted to say. Anyway, so she talked about the Tisha thing. She said that she actually did tell Tisha to go and ask Chris. So when they were at the little cowboy and NDA things, she said she did tell Tisha to go ask Chris. She said, but she thought that Tisha would go and act like pull Chris to the side and talk to him or something. But the way Tisha approached Chris, drunk as a skunk, what up, motherfucker? She was like, pipe down, little whore. Pipe down, little poodle. Pop down, little Yorkie. Exactly. So she basically said because Tisha was doing too much, that's when she had to intervene and was like, what we not gonna do on today is get in Chris Fletcher face. So she said that's how it all worked out with the Tisha thing. And she said, hey, I just feel like I'm more transparent. Y'all not being transparent. Then Carlos asked her, who do you feel are the least transparent on the show? She said Destiny, but she said Destiny told her there's some things that she can't talk about, I'm assuming with her, with her ex and LeBeric and shit. But at this point, you can't talk about, we still don't know why you got a divorce. we don't see your son. I guess you can't talk about your son. You can't talk about LeBerick. We don't know why your TikTok didn't last. Mental Mondays didn't collided. I don't know if Madani, she went up on her candles, they $69. Why is Destiny here? You're not really telling us about the dudes you talk to because you're trying to hinge your storyline on Lance. Whole time you ain't never even had sex with Lance. You probably was really messing with Twine, but you ain't telling us the truth about that. I'm not sure if you're trying to usher Will in as a storyline and go out on a date with him, but it's just like, take the dirty Dora back to Detroit. Exactly. By Destiny. Then this was one of the best. Oh, then she talked about the Marceau stuff and Marceau starting all of the drama. That's why they ended up getting into it at the table. She said that Marceau was trying to get out of trouble. Remember, he was in a truck with Tisha, and she was asking him who he was in Atlanta with. He said, I was there with a friend. She kept pressing him, and he said, I was there with Chris Fletcher. Remember, at the table, Tisha was like, you didn't know where your husband was, and you made him take a picture or some shit. Miss Nell clarified. She said she was down in Atlanta getting her titties done. She said she was down in Atlanta getting her titties done. She knew exactly where Chris Fletcher was because Chris Fletcher was taking care of her. So he went out to meet, I guess, Marceau for a minute and do something with him. Came right back and he was taking care of her after she got her titties done. So it's given Miss Nell knew where her husband was, bitch. But did you? No, because his back was laid up. I don't know. Okay. Then she gets to, Dustin asks her about Lexi. Lexi, I know you feel some type of way, but I would love to see you on the show just to address this like head on or whatever. But I know it's more about personal healing versus a TV show, but I would love to see Lexi now that we know more about her personality. When she's not talking about the Fletcher, she's fun, she's funny. I would love to see it. When Miss Nell was talking about the dinner scene, she said she had no idea. She felt Lexi felt like that or whatever. She said she thought they was a loving family. She said a few weeks before they aired the dinner scene, she was over at Lexi mama house with them. She said she was over there for like 8 hours. They was drinking. She said she thought that they got past what they got past. She was like, but that's the thing with family. You know, you'll think you done got past something and then go to that damn dinner table and it all come out. I've been saying for a long time, a black family and a table don't need to be together. What did we learn from Why Did I Get Married? Soul Food, Last Christmas or First Christmas. That damn dinner table gonna be the death of the black family, child. Cause it's always some shit that come out at the damn table. But let's have a round table. If anybody ever come to me again and say, we having a round table, I'ma fly out that damn house so quick because have a round table talk. Somebody gonna cry. Somebody gonna bring up some old shit. No. Anyway, but I resonated with that because, that's just what happened with families. It just so happened her family shit just got put out on Front Street and it was being filmed. Maybe Lexi did get over it. Maybe they was in a good place. But at that table, at that moment, talking about shit, Lexi had to let it out how she felt about some shit. Like those wounds weren't all the way healed. I don't know. Miss Nell got visibly bothered. You can tell she was choked up, like she probably wanted to cry. You can tell the shift in her mood. You can tell she was like emotional about that. She said she did a lot of crying during this season. Then she started talking about her mom. She said when she was young, she wasn't allowed to cry because we all conditioned to be strong. You know, you got to be strong. My mama used to always say, those tears ain't gonna help nothing. Those tears ain't gonna help nothing. You still gonna have that same issue. You know what I'm saying? So she was talking. So she's like, now she, feels like she can release. She can cry. What else was she talking about? She was just talking about having to be strong and not having her mom there to, you know, guide her and say, hey, how should I handle this? What should I do about this? So on, so on, so on, so on. And anybody who's ever lost a parent, you know, you literally lost your coach. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what gets frustrating, because you don't have nobody to guide you. You know, you don't have your best friend to tell you how to handle stuff. I don't know. Miss Nell was getting emotional. She was getting, you could, the quietness in her, you could tell how she was happy and bubbly and stuff and giddy, and then you could tell the quietness in her, like the whole Lexi thing really affected her, and then it made her think about her mama and stuff. I was like, oh my, it was so cute seeing you. We got to see multiple sides of her in this little short period of time, which I appreciated. And then I love the fact that after, you can tell she was like going through that solemn moment within herself. Dustin kind of brought her back and was asking her about the closet and stuff. And then she got back happy and bubbly and stuff. Claudia chimed in and was telling her, you know, take some time for yourself. Take some time for yourself. Cry it out. Let it out. Release that. I'm a big fan of crying. I'm a big fan of crying too. Let that shit out. Sometimes it just feels good to release. I'll be talking shit. I spray your eyeballs out and I cry. I cry my little eyes out. Anyway, so it was really good in that. I love the fact that in that moment, Claudia spoke up, like, and as Black women, we conditioned to be strong. We da-da-da-da-da. And you need to, you know, cry, let it out. Stop always being strong. Say no sometimes. You know, we don't have to hold the weight of the world on our shoulders. That's why a lot of Black women, when they get older, they be like, I'm tired. Have you ever heard an old person say, I'm tired? That breaks my heart when I hear people say, I'm tired. Because it's giving your soul is tired. Like, you know, I don't know. Anyway, Miss Nell kind of perked back up towards the end of the interview. She was talking about her closet. She said she didn't get her closet, but she got something else. And she wanted to tell, but Carlos was like, no, you can't tell. I guess we go see it on the show. Anyway, all in all, like I said, it was a great interview. I loved Miss Nell. It's crazy that Carlos King and the Scotts, they little plot this season is to not talk about they shit and go against the Fletchers. And you see how Carlos went on that whole tour with Kimmy. This is so ironic and funny. This is my favorite snickle and giggle of it all. They did all of that to get Mel off the show. Tisha feel like she finally got her moment. They propping Tisha up as the new star of the show. They got Kimmy laid out in front, and she's that girl, and yada, yada, yada. And guess who the breakout star is? Guess who the fan favorite is? It ain't you. It ain't you. It's Miss Nell. Exactly. Shout out to Miss Nell. Exactly. Shout out to Miss Nell. Shout out to the Fletchers. The interview made Miss Nell that much likable. The interview made Miss Nell that much likable. I'm team Miss Nell now. Exactly. She did kind of mention Mel. I would love to know if Mel and Miss Fletcher is back cool. I know they'll never get back into that place because Melody is a Scorpio and she's unforgivable because that's how we be. Exactly. But I would love to see if they back in a good place. Anyway, and I'm here for Miss Nell. I'm here for Miss Nell. I'm here for the Fletchers. I hope they ragtag the Scott's ass. And that's what you get because you never win when you play dirty. Exactly. Anyway, so that's all I got, friend. Later on, I will come to y'all with some tea. I'm going to have some good tea later on to tell y'all. Exactly. So I'll see you on lunch, friend. Enjoy your morning. Make sure you comment. Make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe. I love you. Have a good day. Bye.